Good evening from Joliet Route 66 Stadium here in Joliet, Illinois. It's time for game number 3 on day 2 of the CCAC baseball tournament. Welcome to the broadcast. Terry Bonadonna with you for the next couple of hours, taking you through all 9 innings and more if necessary of what should be a dandy. The 2 seed against the 3. It is St. Francis taking on Olivet Nazarene. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. Olivet is the home team today, despite the fact that we're on St. Francis's home field, just the way things worked out for today's game. First for the visiting Fighting Saints then, the starting 9. Travis Schoonover leads things off playing right field. Batting second is the shortstop, Dustin Kroeb. Joe McGuire hits third. He's the designated hitter. Anthony Farron is at first base. Josh Tesh bats fifth and plays third. John Peterson is at second base. Dolan Nicholson is in left. Adam Cebulka hits eighth and does the catching. And hitting ninth, center fielder Bailey Schultz. The starting pitcher for St. Francis today is right-hander Angel Sandoval, just a sophomore for the Saints. For Olivet Nazarene, the leadoff batter is their shortstop Ryan Campbell. R.W. Reno hits second and plays center field. Nathan Moonen bats third and plays third. The cleanup batter is first baseman Tyler Fisher. Jacob Boltice is in right field. Braden Payne bats sixth. Payne is the DH. The second baseman, hitting seventh, is Logan Matson. Ben DeYoung gets the start behind the plate, and hitting ninth, left fielder Mason Sherrill. The starting pitcher for the Tigers of Olivet Nazarene, a sophomore from Victoria, Minnesota, right-hander Graham Burke. Burke is starting for the 11th time this year. It's his 12th appearance overall. He's 7-3 with a 3.04 ERA in 53 and 1/3 innings pitched. Burke has allowed 19 runs, 18 of them earned on just 42 hits. He has struck out 59. He's walked 21. Opponents are batting .218 against Graham Burke this year. We're ready to go. Travis Schoonover digs into the left-handed batter's box to take the first swing of the ball game. Burke goes into the windup. His first toss is swung on and fouled back. We're underway. 6:20 p.m. Central Daylight Time. It's 0-1 on Schoonover. Travis Schoonover in yesterday's conference tournament opener had a big game, reaching base 4 times in a win over Roosevelt. Ball high on Schoonover. Count is 1-1. These two teams got to today in different fashion. Saints won a wild back-and-forth game against Roosevelt. Final score was 8-6. Olivet's game, a lot more straightforward. Schoonover takes ball 2. He moves ahead in the count. Yesterday, the Tigers rode the solid pitching of Kenwell Dominguez. He threw a complete game shutout as they beat St. Ambrose 3-0. There's a fly ball out to left field, playable for Mason Sherrill, who drifts back. Sherrill makes the catch. Schoonover is out number 1, and we're off and running here in Joliet this evening. It's a beautiful night. Sun still shining. It figures to set at some point during this game. The lights will be turned on, I would guess, maybe the 4th or 5th inning, depending on how quickly this game goes. But we're playing under natural light right now. It will not stay that way throughout. Here's Dustin Kroeb. Kroeb batting right-handed, the shortstop for St. Francis. Right-handed hitter, right-handed pitcher. Burke's first toss to Kroeb is a big swing and a miss. 0-1. Dustin Kroeb's a .309 hitter with a homer and 14 RBIs for the season. Senior transfer from South Suburban. The 0-1 pitch. Fouled back. 0-2. So Olivet beat St. Ambrose 3-0 in a well-pitched game by both sides, really. Olivet had one big inning. They scored 3 runs on 3 hits in the 3rd inning and then went silent the rest of the game. Didn't matter because Dominguez was so dominant. Both pitchers in that one went the distance. Only one could be victorious, and in the end, St. Ambrose was forced to play early this morning in an elimination game. The 0-2 swung on and missed, and Burke has a strikeout. His first of the game, 2 outs in the 1st inning. A very strong start for the young right-hander. St. Ambrose was eliminated today in the craziest of fashions. They scored 16 runs and lost. Can't say that very often. A long extra inning game against Roosevelt, and the Lakers are moving on in the losers bracket. We're in the winners bracket here, meaning the loser will still be alive in the tournament. But both teams, of course, would much rather get the win and move on to Monday's semifinal. There's a called strike on Joe McGuire. The way the tournament shakes out right now, the winner of this game will advance to Monday. Again, everybody gets the day off tomorrow. Winner of this one plays Monday night at 7 against the winner of our next game, which is St. Xavier against Robert Morris. That ball is popped up by McGuire, foul territory right side, and too far for Tyler Fisher to chase it down. It's out of play. The count is 0-2 on McGuire. Joe McGuire, a .306 batter. 25 RBIs, a pair of homers for the junior DH. He bats with 2 outs, nobody on, and he's in a quick 0-2 hole against Graham Burke. So Burke is 1 strike away from a perfect first inning. McGuire digs back into the right-handed box. St. Francis in their visiting uniforms today. Brown tops with gray bottoms. First time they've worn these in this ballpark. Typically their home stadium. Olivet Nazarene is the home team. They wear yellow jersey tops with white home pants. The 0-2. Called strike 3. It grazes the outside corner, and McGuire goes down looking. Back-to-back strikeouts for Burke. What a first inning for him. He carries his team into the bottom of the first inning with a scoreless tie. Tigers coming to bat in just a few moments. Bottom of the first inning. The top of the first went by very quickly as Graham Burke set down the Fighting Saints 1-2-3. And now Olivet Nazarene comes to bat for the first time. Campbell, Reno, and Moonen do up. Fisher, Boltice, Payne, Matson, DeYoung, Sherrill make up the rest of the lineup, facing St. Francis sophomore righty Angel Sandoval. Sandoval is starting for the 11th time this year, making his 12th appearance overall. He's 5-5 with a team best .324 ERA. In 66 2/3 innings, he's allowed 28 runs, 24 of them earned on 59 hits with 51 strikeouts and 20 walks. Opponents are hitting just .235 against him, and he jumps ahead of Campbell 0-1 as Ryan Campbell fouls off the first pitch behind home plate. Campbell a .352 batter this year. Swings and misses. It's 0-2. One of a handful of hitters in this Tigers lineup above .350. He and Jacob Boltice both in the lineup today with very high marks in that category. That ball is ripped to the left side and just out of the reach of the leaping shortstop Dustin Kroeb. That's a base hit for Campbell. On an 0-2 pitch, he's able to pull one right over the head of the shortstop, and the leadoff man is aboard for Olivet Nazarene, the game's first hit. For Campbell, it's hit number 58 this year. That's a team lead. And it sets up R.W. Reno, the left-handed hitting center fielder, with a man on base. RW Reno is hitting .278. He's got 22 RBIs, .382 on base percentage for Reno this season. Junior from Wheaton, Illinois. First pitch he sees from Sandoval. Comes in over the inside corner for strike one. Ryan Campbell over at first base has stolen 17 bags this year, so he's always a threat to run. Just about everybody on this team is. Ball in the dirt, good block by Cebulka, the Gold Glover at catcher in the CCAC this year. Count is 1-1 on RW Reno. Olivet Nazarene as a team this year has stolen 140 bases. To put that into perspective, St. Francis has only attempted 53. There's a called strike as that ball just hits the outside corner of the strike zone. 1-2. Sandoval once again gets ahead of an Olivet hitter. If nothing else, a positive start in that he is throwing strikes. 5 of his first 6 pitches have been in the zone. On 1-2, it's popped up. Shallow center field. Krob goes back. Schultz comes on. Bailey Schultz dives, and he comes up with it. Great catch by Bailey Schultz on a ball hit between the center fielder and shortstop. It looked like it was going to drop, but Schultz makes his second highlight reel catch of the tournament and retires RW Reno. Ryan Campbell is able to get back to first base safely. 1 down in the inning. Olivet still has a man aboard for Nathan Moonen. Schultz made a sensational diving grab and then threw back to second base for a double play. And one of the key turning points of yesterday's win against Roosevelt. And today he gets things started with a sensational diving grab. Nathan Moonen takes a ball outside, 1-0. Moonen, the number 3 hitter and third baseman for Olivet Nazarene. Comes in with a .323 batting average, 3 home runs, 29 RBIs. .427 on base percentage for Moonen, who pops it sky high right behind home plate. Cebulka tosses his mask aside and makes the catch. 2 down. After the leadoff single, a couple of hitters come up and make very soft contact against Angel Sandoval. And with 2 outs in the inning and a runner at first base, the first baseman Tyler Fisher will get his first chance. Fisher batting .297, 2 homers, 35 RBIs. Olivet as a team has a .303 batting average this season. They don't have a ton of power on the team, just 16 homers on the year. But they're hitting .303, and they run the bases extremely well. 140 steals this year and 169 attempts team-wide. Fouled away by Tyler Fisher for strike one. They really make their hay on the base paths. 7 different players on this team are in double digits with stolen bases. The 0-1 to Tyler Fisher. Runner on the move. Pitch is taken for a strike. Throw to second. Sails out to center field. Campbell gets up, thinks about third, but thinks better of it. Heads right back to second base after 2 hard steps the other way. It was a strike. That's the positive for Angel Sandoval. And the count is 0-2 on Fisher. But Ryan Campbell steals his 18th bag of the year in 24 attempts. And Olivet now, with 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning, has a man in scoring position. That makes this at bat all the more crucial for Sandoval and for Fisher as well. No score just underway here in Joliet. Here comes the right-hander's 0-2. After a quick glance to second base, Fisher chases one downstairs for strike 3. The inning is over. A leadoff single goes not much further for Olivet as Campbell is stranded at second base. A well-pitched first inning for both sides, and we'll head to the second. Scoreless. 4, 5, and 6 to up for St. Francis in the top of the second inning. No score after 1 inning of play between St. Francis and Olivet Nazarene. Both starting pitchers looked very sharp in the first. We'll see if they keep it rolling here as Anthony Farron digs in to lead things off. Farron had a strong opener to the tournament yesterday. Not a strong opening to this at bat as he swings through the first pitch for strike one. .399 batting average for Farron this year. 5 homers, 16 doubles, 36 RBIs. The 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. 0-2. Graham Burke is ahead of another hitter. Burke has 2 strikeouts already. He got Krob and McGuire to end the first inning, fanning the 2 of them on a combined 6 pitches, so he's thrown 8 consecutive strikes to the last 3 batters, and now trying to make it 3 straight Ks. Farron makes contact, but it's soft contact. A little humpback liner up the middle. The second baseman, Logan Matson, takes a few steps to his right and makes the catch. 1 up, 1 down in the second. That's 4 straight retired by Burke to begin today's ball game. And the batter is Josh Tesh. These 2 teams have seen each other thrice already this year. Back on April 5th in this ballpark, St. Francis defeated Olivet Nazarene by a 4-0 final score, and Angel Sandoval was the winning pitcher that day. Ball outside on Josh Tesh, 1-0. Sandoval was able to shut out the Tigers about a month ago. Didn't throw the complete game, so he didn't get credit technically for a shutout, but still a fabulous performance for him. He went 8 innings that day. Ball downstairs on Tesh, 2-0. That was a great pitcher's duel. It was 1-0 after 4 innings of play, and then the Saints started to pile on a couple of late runs. Went on to win by 4 as Tesh flies this ball into right center field. Long run for R.W. Reno, but he gets there and makes the catch. 2 down in the second inning. 5 straight retired by Graham Burke. Olivet got the revenge on St. Francis the very next day. April 6th, a couple of 1-run victories for the Tigers. 1-0, and then a 13-inning 6-5 win for Olivet Nazarene. So they went 2-1 against St. Francis this year. John Peterson takes strike 1 from Graham Burke. Peterson's a .241 hitter. 14 runs batted in this year, 5 extra base hits. Last hope for the Saints in the second inning. The 0-1 offering. Fouled back off the screen, 0-2. Burke is working quickly. He's been very efficient with his pitches so far. He has thrown just 18 to this point and trying for another 1-2-3 frame. 0-2 on Peterson. Burke into the windup. He delivers. And it's called strike 3. Third strikeout for Graham Burke as he's pitched 2 perfect frames. We'll head to the bottom of the second inning. Olivet Nazarene coming back up, 0-0. Bottom of the second inning, no score. We've seen just one base runner through an inning and a half. That was Ryan Campbell, who had a leadoff single in the bottom of the first inning, but was left on base. Jacob Boltais, the number 5 hitter, leads off the second for the yellow-clad Tigers. Boltais swings at the first pitch, and it's a one-hopper to third base. Picked up cleanly by Tesh, whose throw across the diamond is in plenty of time. Pretty nice start for Angel Sandoval in the second inning. One pitch, one out. Mentioned before, Sandoval has not allowed a run yet to Olivet Nazarene this year through 8 shutout frames against them back in early April. And then the next day, the Tigers got the revenge with a shutout victory of their own. Ball 1 up and in on Braden Payne, the designated hitter. Payne's hitting .261 with 5 extra base hits and 11 RBIs this year. The 1-0 pitch from Sandoval. Swung on and popped up. Right around home plate, Cebulka gives way to Sandoval, and the pitcher makes the grab in foul territory. It's one you don't see very often. That was in the range of either the catcher or the first baseman, but Sandoval took charge. Pitcher called for it, made the grab cleanly. 2 up, 2 down in the second. These two teams have pitched well against one another this year. In their 3 games played, St. Francis has scored only 9 runs. And Olivet has scored only 7. Ball 1 on Logan Matson. And one of those games had to go 13 innings just for that many runs to be scored. Sandoval's got a solid track record against Olivet. This is the first time that Graham Burke this year has pitched against St. Francis, and so far so good for him as he has not allowed a base runner through 2 innings. Logan Matson takes strike 1 from Sandoval. The count is even. Matson hitting .289 on the year. He's got 7 doubles, 2 triples, 30 runs batted in. Popped up foul to the right side and out of play. 1-2 as that ball lands in the Olivet Nazarene fan section. Fair number of purple shirts down there along the first base line. There's only about 2.5 sections of seating left in the ballpark in the sun. So as many fans as possible have crammed into there as Matson grounds that ball out to center field, a base hit. 2-out single for Matson, Olivet's second baseman, and they're in business here in the second inning. The batter will be Ben DeYoung. One of those cool spring days that kind of fools you a little bit when you're standing in the sun. Feels absolutely gorgeous, and then you take one step into the shade and suddenly you're grabbing for your coat. So there are a lot of people down the first base line in those 2 sunny sections that look very comfortable. A lot of people down the third base line clutching their blankets tight. It'll get cooler as the day goes on, but all things considered, a very nice weather day. Strike 1 called on Ben DeYoung. DeYoung is the Olivet catcher. He's a .232 hitter. When you've got a schedule like this, 4 games every day, Friday, Saturday, and then again on Monday. Shorter schedule on Tuesday and potentially Wednesday. All you really want is for the weather to hold up and not force any delays or cancellations. Fortunately, we've had ample sunshine the last couple of days. Hasn't been warm, but we've gotten the games in. DeYoung drives that ball out to left field. Dolan Nicholson is on the spot. Nicholson makes the catch. 2-out single for Olivet. But Matson is left at first base. They've got 2 hits, no runs through 2 innings. Saints are still looking for their first base runner as we roll to the third. 0-0. No score after 2. We're into the 3rd inning. Dolan Nicholson, Adam Cebulka, and Bailey Schultz are due up for the Fighting Saints, looking for their first base runner. Nicholson, a good candidate, swung the bat very well in the opener yesterday. Nicholson, a left-handed hitting left fielder. Bunts at the first pitch, pushes it down the third base line, but foul for strike 1. Nicholson's batting average coming in is .282. He's got 2 doubles, 6 RBIs. Yesterday, he came to bat 5 times against Roosevelt. Reached base 3 of those 5, single, a double, and a walk. Here he is leading off the 3rd inning, getting his first at bat against Graham Burke today. Burke's 0-1 pitch is fouled straight back. It's 0-2. Graham Burke has looked very sharp so far. Not only has he gotten 6 consecutive batters out, he's done it quickly, no long at bats. And he's already struck out 3 batters, 2 of them looking. Fouled back. Nicholson just got a piece of that one to avoid becoming strikeout victim number 4, at least for the time being. Nicholson is not a man who strikes out all that often. Only 16 times this year in 28 games. Burke strikes out more than a man per inning on the year. Ball outside, 1-2. And so far today, he's on that pace as well. Olivet has gotten some pretty strong starting pitching so far. Of course, we're still very early in this game, but now 9, or I should say 11 innings into the tournament. 9 yesterday and 2 today. They have not allowed a run and given up just 5 combined hits in those 11 innings. Nicholson takes ball 2 outside. The count is even. So already this has become the longest at bat of the game as Nicholson has seen 5 pitches from Graham Burke. Burke had gotten 5 of the first 6 on 3 pitches. Only Travis Schoonover saw 4. This is number 6 to Nicholson. Fouled back. He'll see a 7th. That shows a little fight on the part of Dolan Nicholson. Burke has not been contested too strongly up to this point in the game. Nicholson giving the on-deck hitter Adam Cebulka a lot of chances to take a look at what Graham Burke is dealing with today. Another 2-2 pitch. Popped up, foul ground, and out of play. The at-bat goes on. St. Francis, the number 2 seed in this CCAC tournament, went 28-20 during the season. Olivet Nazarene is the 3 seed. They have a better overall record, 30-14-1, and the 2 finished in a virtual tie. In the conference standings, both were 11 games above 500. Nicholson grounds it foul down the third base line. And it's still 2-2. He's seen 8 pitches so far in the at-bat. St. Francis really turned up the heat on their season once they got into conference play back in mid-March. They got off to a slow start this year. There's a called strike 3 and a breaker over the outside corner. Nicholson goes down looking after a very good battle between Burke and Nicholson. Graham Burke comes out on top. That's his 4th strikeout. 3rd one he's gotten looking. One away in the 3rd. Here's the number 8 batter, Adam Cebulka. Cebulka, not a strong hitting catcher in the lineup every day for St. Francis, more for his defense than anything, but came up with a very big hit yesterday and a very good game offensively, and he's got the first hit of today's game for the Saints. He lines a 1-hopper through the left side of the infield. A single for Adam Cebulka, a 1-out base runner, the first one of those that the Saints have seen today. Cebulka yesterday had a single, a double, a run, and 2 RBIs, and today he is aboard with a base hit, and now he is off board, going back to the dugout to put his catcher's gear on. Noah Carraro comes in to run for him at first base. The batter is Bailey Schultz. Schultz is another guy who's in the lineup more for his defense than his offense, and he has made that pay off in the first 2 days of this series, or this tournament, I should say, against 2 different teams. He's made 2 great defensive plays, one yesterday, one today. Here he is batting for the first time in this game. 165 average for the year. And he backs out of the way of a fastball inside, 1-0. Good speed over at first base with Noah Carraro. He's 4 for 4 in attempting steals for the season. He dives back to first right now as Graham Burke tosses in his direction. Burke already having more trouble here in the third than he had in either of the first 2 innings, which really isn't saying much. But the way this game has begun, I think both pitchers will worry a little bit each time there's a man on base, at least if it continues to be pitched as well as it has up to this point. Any base runner could prove to be a huge one. Carraro over at first after the Cebulka single. He takes his lead. Graham Burke sets. Here's the pitch. It's a strike over the outside corner. Snap throw down to first by Ben DeYoung. Count is 1-1. Cebulka, or rather Carraro, easily back to first base after the pickoff. Tigers are spending a lot of time concentrating on the man over at first base. Carraro again runs well. He doesn't run often, just 4 steals on the season. But Olivet might be thinking the same thing that I'm thinking, which is that base runners are so valuable, you just can't afford to give up extra bases under any circumstances. As Bailey Schultz takes a strike and falls behind in the count, 1-2. I was talking about St. Francis's season roller coaster, slow start, and they got hot, went through another valley late in the year, but ended strong. They lost 5 out of 6 after a 12-game winning streak, and then they finished up the year winning 7 of their final 10. Olivet was a little bit more consistent. Fouled back by Schultz. He stays in the box with a 1-2 count. Tigers started strong, and they pretty much were strong the whole year. They were 3-0 before they took their first loss down in Tennessee in February. One and two on Bailey Schultz. Runner at first base, 1 out, scoreless tie. Schultz takes strike 3. And he gives a quizzical look back to the home plate umpire. That's 5 strikeouts already in the game for Graham Burke. 4 of them have come looking. And obviously a lot of Saints right now are not too pleased with the strike zone, but they'll have to adjust now the second time through the order now that they've seen that perhaps it's a little bit bigger than usual in this game. Once the strike zone has been established, you just hope that both pitchers can take advantage of it, and you move on. Hitters have to make the adjustments. Travis Schoonover is 0 for 1. He flew out to left field to begin the ball game. He swings at the first pitch here, way out in front of an off-speed ball, and it's strike 1. Olivet finished the season strong. They've won 5 of their last 6 games over the last 2 weeks. The only loss during that stretch was to St. Xavier, and that's probably the only team in the conference that's hotter than they are right now. Schoonover pops one into center field. Coming on and making the running catch is R.W. Reno. The inning is over. The Saints get their first base runner on a 1-out single from Adam Cebulka, but the Saints leave a runner at first base, and as we head to the bottom of the third, we still have yet to see a score. Mason Sherrill, the left fielder and number 9 batter, leads off the bottom of the third inning for Olivet Nazarene. The Tigers looking to break an early shutout and a scoreless tie. Sherrill shows bunt, pulls the bat back, and takes strike one from Angel Sandoval. Sandoval's been just about as sharp as Graham Burke early on. Not quite as gaudy on the strikeout numbers. He's got 1 through 2 innings, 5 through 3 innings so far for Burke. There's a ball outside, 1-1. But Sandoval has allowed only 2 hits so far. They've both been singles. Only one runner has gotten to second base, that on a steal. 1-1 on Sherrill, who swings and bounces it to the right side. Backhanded stop by Farron. An off-balance throw to first base. Sandoval gets there in time, and there's out number 1. Good defense by the combination of Farron and Sandoval as Sherrill nearly beat out an infield hit. Farron ranged a long way to his right there in the area that is potentially the second baseman's ball, but Farron extended his own range, was able to make a nice backhanded play, and he tossed accurately to the pitcher covering the bag despite throwing off of his back foot. Really a good play by Farron, and Sandoval did his job as well. He continues to do his job on the mound as he gets ahead of Campbell with strike one. Ryan Campbell hit a single to begin the bottom of the first inning. He eventually stole second base, but was left there. He takes the ball downstairs, and the count is 1-1. 1 out, nobody on in the bottom of the third inning. Just 3 hits so far in the game combined. They've all been singles. 1-1. Hit in the air, out to right field, down the line. Long run, Travis Schoonover. He dives into foul territory and can't come up with it, but it is a foul ball. And it goes as strike 2 on Ryan Campbell. Good effort by Schoonover there. He laid all the way out for it down the line. And it wasn't fouled by a whole lot. If that had been a fair ball and he dove past it that way, it's probably 3 bases for Ryan Campbell. Then again, if that ball had landed in fair territory, I think there's a good chance Schoonover would have caught it because he came up just short. It was about a foot, maybe 2 feet off to the right of the line. It goes as a long strike for Campbell, and the count is 1-2. Sandoval looking to put him away, and it's a bouncer foul to the third base side. Still 1-2. Sandoval has retired 7 of the first 9 batters he's faced, trying to make it 8 out of 10 and retire Campbell for the first time. The young right-hander from St. Lawrence High School winds up and delivers. And he finds the outside corner for strike 3. And now it's the Tigers' turn to be upset about the strike zone. First time that Sandoval has gotten an Olivet hitter looking. It's his second strike out of the ball game, and it's the second out of the third inning. 2 up, 2 down here in the third. R.W. Reno's up. Reno hit a pop-up to shallow center field in the first. Looked like it was going to drop for a bloop single. But no, Bailey Schultz was there, made a diving grab. He's 0 for 1. Reno's behind in the count, 0-1 here as he swings through the first pitch from Angel Sandoval. Sandoval is looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of the game. He's 1 out away from it. And now he's 1 strike away from it as Reno fouls it off to the left side. 0-2. If R.W. Reno does reach, Nathan Moonen will bat next. Sandoval gets the sign from Cebulka. Both batter and pitcher are ready to go now. And it's fouled back by R.W. Reno. Got it off the catcher there. Staying alive, it's still 0-2. Shadows have crept over the entire infield, or at least most of it. Still a little bit of sun around first base. Anthony Farron shields his eyes over there. Strike 3 called over the inside corner. R.W. Reno goes down looking. Back-to-back backwards Ks for Angel Sandoval. He's retired 4 in a row, and he's got his first perfect inning of the game. As we head to the 4th, we have no score, round 2 of the CCAC tournament. 2, 3, and 4 due up for St. Francis in the top of the 4th inning. Krob, McGuire, and Farron to face Graham Burke, and hope for a little better success the second time through the order because they had none against Burke the first time through. Just one hit, a one-out single in the third for Adam Cebulka. Everybody else has been kept off the base paths so far by Burke, who stands atop the rubber, ready to face Krob for the second time. He struck him out on 3 pitches back in the first inning. This time Krob hits a pop-up on the first pitch behind home plate, back towards the screen, and just out of play. Strike 1 on Krob. No chance for Ben DeYoung to make the catch. Krob's strikeout was the first of the game for Graham Burke. He went on to strike out 5 of the first 9 batters he faced, but Krob's was the only one that came swinging. The other 4 strikeouts all were looking. McGuire, Peterson, Nicholson, and Schultz. The 0-1. Hits the outside corner on a fastball, strike 2. Krob has seen 5 pitches in today's game, and they've all been strikes. We're still early, but this has the makings of a really good pitcher's duel. Pitching's been great so far. Ball 1 outside. It's not uncommon to see a game scoreless after 3 innings, but the way that this game has gone scoreless, neither team has sniffed a run. Only 1 runner has been in scoring position. That came on a 2-out, 2-strike stolen base back in the first. Strike 3 called over the outside corner, and Krob goes down on strikes for the second time today. And now he turns around and has a few words with the home plate umpire, and I'll say it again. I don't want to harp on it, but it's really, at a certain point, the hitter's responsibility to adjust to the strike zone. It all looked like it was probably a few inches off the corner, but it's the exact same pitch that was called strike 2 on Krob. Joe McGuire is the batter now. McGuire struck out looking when he first came up. He's 0 for 1. Into the windup, the first pitch of the at-bat from Graham Burke. Breaks low and out of the zone. Ball 1. I don't know if the strike zone has been extended up and down, but certainly both sides of the plate have been a little bit bigger than normal in this game. And we've seen a lot of strikeouts as a result. Also 2 very good pitchers on the mound as McGuire turns on one deep left field, down the line, back towards the wall. That ball's gone. Joe McGuire over the left field wall, a solo shot, and we've got a run on the board in the top of the 4th inning. It's 1-0 St. Francis. For McGuire, home run number 3 this season. RBI number 26, and that is a big one for St. Francis. In a ball game like this, the team to strike first has given itself a huge edge, even if it is just 1 run on the scoreboard. It's a huge mental edge, if nothing else. Here's Anthony Farron. Farron is 0 for 1. He lined out softly to second base his first time up. That home run for McGuire was not only the first run of the game, it was the first hard-hit ball, I think, really, for either team. Farron shows bunt and takes the ball up and in. Farron might just be messing around with Nathan Moonen over at third base a little bit. Conference's leading hitter, batting just a shade under 400. You wouldn't expect to see him dropping one down here. Moonen's taken maybe a step in at third, still not quite buying the idea of a bunt here from Farron. And Farron does take a strike here, not looking to drop one down. The count is 1-1. 1 out, nobody on base. Graham Burke has grown accustomed to pitching out of the windup. Hasn't had to deal with too many base runners today, so even after giving up that hit, he's back into the windup. As McGuire did not stay on the base paths very long. There's a powerful cut. Farron can't connect. Strike 2. Entering play today, Burke had allowed only 42 hits in 53 1/3 innings. So he does not get hit very much, but despite that, when he does get hit, it does have a tendency to be hit hard. He leads the staff, or I should say probably worst on the staff, as Farron flips one into shallow right field and down for a base hit. Nice two-strike hit from Anthony Farron. Just reached out and poked it in front of Jacob Bultheis, dropping it in for a one-out single. Saints have a man aboard in front of Josh Tesh. 5 home runs this year hit against Burke. Nobody else on the staff has given up more than 3. So again, he doesn't get hit very hard at all. Or I should say he doesn't get hit very often at all, but he does get hit occasionally hard. Josh Tesh is 0 for 1, flew to center field in the second inning. Breaking ball over the inside corner, strike 1 on Josh Tesh. Tesh, a .351 hitter coming into play today. This is his 33rd start of the season out of his team's 50 games. A homer, 17 RBIs. He's gotten hot in the second half of the year. There's a pop-up on the infield, left side down the line. Into foul ground, a dive, and the ball is not caught, and a little bit of a collision as well, as the third baseman Nathan Moonen dove for it, coming in from third base, and the pitcher, Graham Burke, dove for it as well. And both men are still down right now. That one did not look very good. Moonen coming in from third slid towards the ball. Burke laid out for it head first. Both men had a chance to make the catch. After the collision, neither one was able to hold on to it. Burke initially got up after colliding with Moonen and then sat back down. Moonen stayed down, but now he's back up on his right knee, so that's good. He's adjusting his shoe. Anytime you see an injured player adjusting his shoe rather than clutching onto a sore body part, that's always a very positive sign. Both men are back up on their feet at the moment, so a little bit of a scary moment there, but it appears for the time being that both guys are okay. It's a strike on Tesh. Actually, I take that back. I think, was that ball caught? I think it was caught, because John Peterson's coming up to bat. I looked at the umpire initially, the home plate umpire, thought he had given the safe sign to indicate the ball had dropped, but I'm not sure which one caught the ball. One of them caught it, and it's a heck of a play considering the danger involved, but both men are back up, both men are okay, and there are 2 outs now in the inning. So everything pointing up now for Olivet, despite the score of 1-0 in favor of St. Francis. It's been an event-filled top half of the 4th. Both guys are going to stay in the game as Peterson comes up to bat. I think it was the pitcher, Graham Burke, who's the one who ended up hanging on to that ball. How he had the concentration, I'm not sure. Very impressive. And fortunate for all parties involved that everybody's good to go. John Peterson is the batter. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. The runner at first is Anthony Farron. Peterson takes a ball in the dirt and it skips away from DeYoung. Farron up to second base on the wild pitch. One and 0 on Peterson. For Burke, that's just the second wild pitch thrown all season. Maybe still a little bit shaken up from that collision with Nathan Moonen down the third base line. And I think right now, more than anything, Burke just wants to get this final out, get a chance to go back in the dugout and shake it off a little bit. Give him a few minutes to settle in. He stayed on the mound to throw a few warm-up pitches after he got up off the ground to make sure that he was okay. And the first one of those went to the backstop as well. Peterson takes a strike over the inside corner, 1-1. One run is in this inning on the Joe McGuire home run. Farron followed that up with a single. Just the second and third hits of the ball game for the Fighting Saints. Farron, thanks to the wild pitch, now stands at second with 2 down. 1-1 on Peterson. He takes up and in. 2 balls and 1 strike. Burke has been on point with his control today. He's only had a handful of 2-ball counts all game. Hasn't gone to 3 balls on any hitter. But he's fallen behind Peterson here. The 2-1 pitch. That breaks into the zone. Strike 2. The count is even. Burke is 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. Sending things over to the bottom of the 4th, where Angel Sandoval will reclaim the mound. He's been as good as Burke so far today, and after that home run from McGuire, I guess you could say Sandoval's been a little better. Before the 2-2 pitch, he steps off the rubber to look Farron back to second base. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A runner at second base. Peterson is the 5th man to bat this inning. A base hit would likely double the St. Francis lead. Here it comes. Fouled back off the screen. Still 2-2 on Peterson. Dolan Nicholson waits on deck, hoping that Peterson's able to keep the inning alive. It's been the longest inning, the toughest inning so far for Graham Burke. Still just 1 strike away from ending it, looking for his 7th strikeout of the evening. The 2-2. Swung on and missed. He's got strikeout number 7. He blows a fastball by Peterson and strands Anthony Farron at second base. But the Saints are on the board. Joe McGuire hit a solo home run to left field. And as we head to the bottom of the 4th, 1-0 St. Francis. Nathan Moonen leads off the bottom of the 4th inning for Olivet Nazarene, now chasing 1 run. Moonen takes the first pitch for ball 1. He popped out to the catcher his first time up, the number 3 hitter for Olivet Nazarene. Will be followed by Fisher and Boltais this inning against Angel Sandoval, who's been on a roll so far. Fouled away, it's 1-1. Sandoval has retired the last 4 batters he's faced. He has set down 9 of 11 so far in the game. He is working quickly here. His 1-1 pitch misses outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Joe McGuire's solo home run in the top half of this 4th inning. The difference in the ball game so far. 2-1. Upstairs, 3 balls and 1 strike. This game has been so well pitched so far. This is the first time that any hitter has gone to 3 balls in an at-bat. Line to the left side, a base hit for Moonen. Leadoff man reaches for Olivet for the 2nd time today. I should put an addendum on my last statement. It's been well documented throughout this game that strike zone's been a little bit bigger than usual. That's probably part of the reason we haven't seen too many hitters counts. But that last at bat, actually, Moonen's single on that 3-1 count, that was the first time that Sandoval had thrown 2 balls to any hitter. He has been on his game so far. But there's a runner aboard with nobody out. Tying run over at first base as the throw goes in that direction. Farron's tag not in time to catch Moonen. Batter's Tyler Fisher. Nathan Moonen's got 15 steals this year. Fouled off to the right side and off the netting in front of the dugout. Strike one on Fisher. I mentioned this number before. I didn't quite finish the stat, but Olivet Nazarene has 7 different players on their roster with double-digit steals. They've all got at least 11. The entire CCAC has 15 players with 11 stolen bases or more. And Olivet's got 7 of those 15 all by themselves. Swing and a miss from Fisher, 0-2. They are the best team in the nation in terms of stolen bases, not in pure numbers, but in steals per game. 3rd overall in just the raw number. The 0-2. Sweeps outside for ball 1. Some barking going on from the St. Francis defense. It's a pitch that has been called a strike at times during this game. We've seen a lot of guys go down looking on both teams in these first 3.5 innings. Sandoval looking for the first out in the bottom of the 4th. And he's got it. This time the call does go to the St. Francis pitcher. Strike 3 over the outside corner, 1 down in the 4th. Sandoval had just 1 strikeout through the first 2 1/3, but his last 3 outs have come on strikes. Campbell, Reno, and Fisher have all gone down looking. That's 3 of the last 4 batters. Moonen still at first base, 1 out now. 1-0 St. Francis leads in the bottom of the 4th, and the batter is Jacob Bultais. Bultais is 0 for 1. He grounded out to third base in the 2nd inning. There's a swing and a fly into right field. Travis Schoonover takes a few steps back and makes the catch. It's a quick out as Bultais has now seen 2 total pitches, and he's 0 for 2. 2 outs in the 4th. Here's Braden Payne. Payne is 0 for 1. He popped out into foul territory to the pitcher in the 2nd inning. Pickoff throw over to first. Moonen back in safely. Moonen is 15 of 20 in stolen base attempts this season. Sandoval throws in that direction again. Sandoval hasn't had to deal with all that many base runners. So now that there is 1 on, he's trying to keep him close. Long look over at first base before Sandoval finally comes into the set position. First pitch to Braden Payne, a big swing and a miss. Payne's got 11 runs batted in this year in 42 games played. .261 average at the start of play today. He drives this ball in the air, deep left field. Dolan Nicholson going back. Nicholson is at the warning track, and Nicholson is out of room. That's a home run. Braden Payne responds to Joe McGuire's home run in the top of the inning with a 2-run shot here in the bottom of the 4th inning. It's Payne's first home run of the year, and the Tigers lead 2-1. Pitching has dominated this one so far, but a couple of long balls to left in this 4th inning have gotten our scoring going. And Logan Matson will bat with 2 outs and the bases empty. For the first time today, Olivet Nazarene is in the lead. Matson 1 for 1 with a single. He swings the first pitch here, rolls it under the glove of Sandoval. Krob is there to scoop it up, and Krob's throw to first is in time. 6-3. Matson is retired. And very quickly, the inning comes to a close, but not before the 2-run shot from Braden Payne, his first home run this year for Olivet Nazarene. The 3-seed Tigers lead the 2nd-seeded Fighting Saints. It's 2-1 after 4. It's the fifth inning, and now St. Francis playing from behind as their one-run lead turned into a one-run deficit on the two-run homer last inning from Braden Payne. Dolan Nicholson leads off the fifth against Graham Burke, and the first pitch is taken for strike one over the outside corner. Nicholson is 0 for 1, a good battle, 9 pitches back in the third inning, ended with him striking out. Trying to reach base as the leadoff man here in the fifth, something that hasn't happened for St. Francis yet today. Swing and a miss, 0-2. In fact, they've only had 3 base runners through 4 innings. One of them came in the third, and then back-to-back hits in the fourth inning. They came in the wrong order as far as the Saints are concerned. They went home run single. If it had been the other way around, we'd be looking at a tie ball game right now. Strike 3 called over the outside corner. Nicholson goes down looking for the second time today. That's already 8 strikeouts for Graham Burke. Somehow he struck out 8 through 4 1/3 innings, and he still managed to be efficient with his pitch count. Adam Cebulka bats now with 1 out, nobody on. Cebulka's 1 for 1. He singled in the third inning. Through the first 3, that was the only hit for St. Francis. Fouled back off the net. Strike 1 on Cebulka. Earlier today, St. Ambrose was eliminated from the tournament in a wild game against Roosevelt. That one went to extra innings. The final score was 17-16. The 0-1 taken by Cebulka outside. The count is even. And then shortly after that, Trinity Christian scored a late run to beat Indiana South Bend 3-2. So St. Ambrose and IUSB have both been knocked out of the CCAC tournaments, down to the final 6. Breaking ball misses low for a ball, 2-1. Loser of this game will not be eliminated. They'll just drop themselves into the loser's bracket. The winner will play in the semifinals Monday night at 7 o'clock. 2-1. Cebulka takes a strike. It's 2-2. The loser of this game will have to play at 1 o'clock on Monday afternoon. And they'll be taking on Trinity Christian, the winners of today's elimination game earlier this afternoon. Ball 3 off the outside corner. Count goes full. First Fighting Saint to see a 3-ball count today. We've not yet seen a walk. Through 4 innings of this game, or I should say through 3.5 innings of this game, neither pitcher went to 3 balls on any hitter. Game has been that well pitched. There's strike 3 over the inside corner. Cebulka is out number 2. 3 consecutive strikeouts for Graham Burke. That's now 9 in the game. It brings up Bailey Schultz. Schultz is 0 for 1. He struck out looking in the third inning. 9 strikeouts in the game for Burke. 7 of them have come looking. Schultz pops it up on the first pitch. Foul territory right side, but it'll stay in play. And Tyler Fisher, the first baseman, makes the catch. Another quick 1-2-3 worked by Graham Burke. And we've played half of a 9-inning baseball game here today. It's 2-1. Tigers lead. Olivet leads St. Francis 2-1 in the bottom of the 5th inning, and the Tigers are coming to bat looking to extend their lead. Ben DeYoung, Mason Sherrill, and Ryan Campbell, the 8, 9, and 1 hitters, are due up against Angel Sandoval. Sandoval was cruising along through 3+ innings, and then with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th, Braden Payne took him out to left field over the wall and got Olivet on the board for the first time. 1-0 on Ben DeYoung, the catcher, who flew out to left field. He's 0 for 1. Ball inside, 2-0. DeYoung is coming off of a 2-hit performance yesterday. Olivet, no stranger to pitchers' duels. They won yesterday by a 3-0 final against St. Ambrose. Not a whole lot of base runners in that game, as it's fouled back out of play off the face of the press box. It's 2-1. DeYoung was the only player in that game with more than 1 hit. It's kind of funny from a team that's got so many great hitters like Olivet, as DeYoung slaps this ball into left center field. Bailey Schultz on the run. He took an awkward angle at it, and it's over his head. That ball rolls all the way to the warning track. DeYoung into second base, thinking about third, but he'll pull up. He heads back to second. It's a leadoff double. Bailey Schultz has made so many great catches that looked like he got maybe a little bit greedy there. Thought he had a chance to make a play that he didn't. And as a result, he let the ball go over his head and turned a probable single into a double. So the leadoff man is aboard and in scoring position for Olivet as Ben DeYoung, who is hitting just .232 on the season at the start of play today, has his 3rd hit of the tournament. And like I said, it's interesting. This is a team that's got 2 regulars hitting above .350. 4 guys hitting above .300. And it's their .230 hitting catcher who ends up leading the charge offensively throughout the weekend. There's a bunt by Sherrill, back to the mound. Sandoval gloves it, throws to first for the out. 1-4 on the putout. It's a sacrifice for Mason Sherrill. And Ben DeYoung advances to third base. Here's Ryan Campbell. It's Alex Campy, the runner at third base, rather than DeYoung. Olivet using the courtesy runner for their catcher. Campy's at third base. 1 out. Ryan Campbell in the batter's box, and the infield is in at all 4 spots for St. Francis. Sandoval's first pitch catches the outside corner for strike 1. The way Graham Burke has thrown today, a 1-run deficit feels big. A 2-run deficit would be a chasm. St. Francis knows they can't afford to let this runner score. The 0-1 to Campbell's fouled back, 0-2. Angel Sandoval, not nearly the strikeout pitcher that Graham Burke is. Still has 3, make that 4 of them today. And this is one time where he could really go for one. Trying to hold that runner at third base with only 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning. It's 0-2 on Ryan Campbell, who struck out looking his last time up. Sandoval delivers. Ground ball to the left side, picked up by the shortstop Crow, but his only play is first base. He gets the out, but it's an RBI. Alex Campy comes in to score. A productive ground out for Ryan Campbell. It's 3-1 Olivet. That's some nice work by Campbell with an 0-2 count, just putting the bat on the ball. The infield was in for St. Francis. That ball was hit softly enough that Krob was able to react and make the play. Typically when the infield is drawn in, you don't really get a chance to make a play on a ground ball unless it's hit right at you. But he took a couple of steps to his left because it was hit softly enough. He was able to make up the ground, but with his momentum carrying him towards the right side of the infield, there's really no chance to pivot and throw home. So he took the only out he could get, and it turned out to be an RBI for Campbell, as RW Reno now has a 1-1 count. Reno is 0 for 2. Popped out to center. He has struck out looking. There's a grounder to the right side, hard hit, and out of the reach of the diving Peterson. It's a single for Reno. Second hit of the inning for Olivet. They're now up to 6 hits for the ball game after having just 2 in the first 3 innings. They've got 4 in the last 2. And they've got a chance to keep things going with 2 outs here. Nathan Moonen is the batter. Moonen singled and scored a run in the 4th inning. He's batting for the 3rd time. Pickoff throw to first. Reno is back. RW Reno's got 21 steals this year. Olivet's got 7 players on the team in double digits with stolen bases. They've got 3 who have more than 20. There's a called strike and a throw down to first base, not in time from Cebulka. 0-1 on Nathan Moonen. 3-1 now. Olivet has the lead. They jumped ahead with the 2-run homer from Braden Payne in the 4th inning and an RBI groundout from Ryan Campbell following the Ben DeYoung leadoff double has made it a 3-1 advantage for the home team. Swing and a miss, 0-2. The lights are on at Route 66 Stadium. Still plenty of light in the area in terms of the sun, but the entire field now is draped in shadow. Throw to first base, and Reno dives back to the bag. Oh, 0-2. Sandoval looking to put an end to the 5th inning. He misses up and away. Ball 1. Fighting Saints in the 6th inning will have the top of their order due up. Travis Schoonover set to lead things off. Sandoval trying to make sure it's still a 2-run game when that happens. Ball up and away. The runner goes. The throw down to second from Cebulka is in plenty of time. Reno caught by 2 steps. Good throw by Cebulka. And we'll head to the 6th inning. 1 run scores for Olivet on 2 hits. Big RBI ground out from Ryan Campbell makes it a 3-1 Olivet lead heading for the 6th inning. We're 5 innings into this one, 4 innings still to play, and it's been a good ball game so far. Olivet Nazarene leads St. Francis 3-1 as Travis Schoonover leads off the 6th inning offensively for the Fighting Saints. Schoonover, Kroeb, and McGuire set to face Graham Burke, who's been nothing short of dominant so far in this game. First pitch is taken for a strike on Schoonover. He's really only made 1 mistake. He's allowed 3 hits. 2 singles and a solo home run. Joe McGuire hit a laser beam line shot over the left field wall back in the 4th inning. That was the first run of the game. Olivet has scored 3 in a row ever since. Schoonover takes a strike, 0-2. Yesterday against Roosevelt, Travis Schoonover reached base 4 times in 5 plate appearances. Today he's 0 for 2 and he's in an 0-2 hole in his 3rd at bat. Burke winds and delivers. Ball up and away, 1-2. Graham Burke's got 9 strikeouts through 5 innings. He fanned only 1 in the 2nd. Other than that, he's gotten 2 in every inning in the game. 1-2. Foul tipped by Schoonover. He keeps the at-bat alive. These are two teams that have played some tight games this year, with Olivet winning 2 of the 3 of them. They've always been well pitched, and today, just another example of that. Ground ball up the middle, ranging to his right. Matson's able to make the backhanded stop. The second baseman throws on to first for the out. Leadoff man retired for the 6th consecutive inning by Graham Burke, and the batter is Dustin Kroeb. Just after McGuire hit his home run in the 4th inning, Anthony Farron singled, and then Josh Tesh hit a pop-up down the third base line in foul territory. Both the third baseman Nathan Moonen and the pitcher Graham Burke dove for it, and Burke ended up making a great catch. But the two collided on the play, and they were both down on the floor, or on the ground, I guess I should say, for a couple of minutes. That was a scary moment for Olivet, but both guys got up, both stayed in the game, and they've been much better for it. They really turned it around ever since then, scoring 3 unanswered runs. 1-0 on Dustin Kroeb. Here's the next pitch. Hot shot grounded to the third baseman. Nice backhanded stop by Moonen. The throw across the diamond is in time. 2 away. Impressive play by Moonen. He had to react to that ball quickly. Was able to reach to his right and make a backhanded play off a tough hop. Really good play by Moonen for the second out of the inning. Nathan Moonen has had a good day offensively and defensively now. He's got a hit and a run at the plate. On the defensive side, he saves a base runner with that one. Here's Joe McGuire, 1 for 2 with a solo homer. Called strike 1 from Graham Burke. Burke is looking for another quick inning. 3 of his first 5 have gone 1-2-3. This one has gone 1-2 so far. No strikeouts yet in the 6th, and that's been a rarity for him. He's been getting ahead of hitters and putting them away pretty quickly. The 0-1 misses outside, 1-1. Of his 9 strikeouts today, 4 of them have been 3-pitch at-bats. So he's not only racking up the Ks, but he's doing so quickly and in such a way that he hasn't had to work overly hard, giving him a little extra stamina to potentially go deep into the ball game. He's gone 5 2/3 so far and allowed just a run on 3 hits. The 1-1 to Joe McGuire. Breaking ball over the inside corner. It's 1-2. Three to 1, Olivet has the lead. Trying to carry that lead into the bottom of the 6th inning. Graham Burke steps atop the rubber and stares in at the catcher, Ben DeYoung. Here's the 1-2 offering. Down low for a ball, 2-2. Burke was halfway back to the dugout. That's a call he's gotten at times today, not this time. 7 of his 9 strikeouts have come looking. He thought he got an 8th Fighting Saint to go down staring at strike 3. Instead, the count evens. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Base is empty. 2-run game in the top of the 6th. The 2-2. Swung on by McGuire, flown out to right field. Backing up is Jacob Bultais. He gets to the spot and makes the catch. The inning is over. Another perfect frame for Graham Burke. We head to the bottom of the 6th. 3-1, Olivet. Nathan Moonen leads off the bottom of the 6th inning for Olivet Nazarene, leading St. Francis 3-1. First pitch to Moonen is bounced foul to the third base side for strike one. Moonen was in the batter's box when RW Reno was caught stealing to end the 5th inning. Fresh start to the at-bat here. He and the Tigers lead by a pair of runs as they've scored 3 straight. 2 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th. Moonen scored one of those runs. He singled to lead off the 4th inning. Leading off the 6th inning, he pops it up to shallow right field. Backing up is the second baseman Peterson near the foul line. He makes the catch for out number 1. That's been big, retiring the leadoff batter. 2 of the 3 runs to score for Olivet today have been leadoff base runners reaching base. Or leadoff batters reaching base, I guess I should say. In this case, first man up is set down. Here's Tyler Fisher swinging through a first pitch fastball for strike one. Fisher is 0 for 2. He has struck out twice, swinging in the first, looking in the 4th. 4 strikeouts in the ball game for Angel Sandoval. His counterpart, Graham Burke, has 9. A called strike, 0-2 on Fisher. This one figured to be a good pitching matchup coming in. Graham Burke was second team all-conference selection. Angel Sandoval on that roster as well. Fouled back by Fisher, still 0-2. Both men had ERAs this year in the low 3s. The 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Dug out of the dirt by Cebulka. He tosses on to first to complete the out. 2 away. Third time Fisher has struck out today. Both Sandoval and Burke are sophomores, so they figure to be 2 of the better pitchers in the conference going forward these next few years. Jacob Boltais, speaking of all-conference selections, 367 hitter. He was first team all CCAC. But hitless so far in this game as he takes the ball outside. He's grounded to third and flown to right. That first pitch ball was the first one that Boltais has taken today. He put the first 2 pitches that he saw in the game in play. Puts this one out of play on the swing. It's a foul ball to the right side, and the count is 1-1. A run on 3 hits, no errors for St. Francis. 3-6-0 across the scoreboard for Olivet. Popped foul to the right side, same spot as the last one. Strike 2. St. Xavier and Robert Morris in the building getting ready for their game to start. They're the 4th scheduled game of the day and the 8th scheduled game in the tournament so far. We'll have minimum 14 games played here this week as that ball is flown to center field by Boltais. Long run back for Bailey Schultz, but he's on it. He makes the grab and the inning is over. Second 1-2-3 frame of the ball game for Angel Sandoval. He bounces back after allowing runs in the previous 2. And we'll head to the 7th with the Tigers leading the Saints 3-1. It's the top of the 7th inning. St. Francis up to bat, down by 2, starting to get low on time here as they try to make the comeback against Olivet. Farron, Tesh, and Peterson due up against Graham Burke, who has pitched a commanding 6 innings so far. He's allowed just 1 run on 3 hits. Farron's got 1 of those hits. Doesn't look like he's going to pick up another one as he swings the first pitch and grounds it to Ryan Campbell at short. The throw to first base is in the dirt. And Farron is aboard. So he doesn't pick up a second hit, but he reaches base just the same. An error on the Gold Glover Ryan Campbell. And the Saints will bring the tying run to the plate in the form of Josh Tesh with nobody out in the 7th. Just the 7th error this year on Campbell for a shortstop who's played 47 games. That's not a very big number. He started every game at short this year for the Tigers. Josh Tesh is 0 for 2. He's flown to center. He's popped out in foul territory. First pitch to Tesh, taken for strike 1. Joe McGuire hit a solo homer in the 4th to break a scoreless tie. And then in the bottom of that same inning, Braden Payne gave Olivet the lead with a 2-run shot of his own. Both of them out to left field. Olivet extended their lead on a Ryan Campbell RBI groundout in the bottom of the 5th inning. That's been our score ever since, 3-1. Farron takes his lead, the 0-1 to Tesh. Popped up, foul to the right side. It'll get out of play. 0-2. A sunny Saturday afternoon in early May is growing dim here. Sun is setting out to the west just behind us. Creating a good atmosphere here in Joliet this evening. It's a big game between the 2 and the 3 seeds. Throw to first base, Farron back safely. Winner of this goes on to Monday night's semifinal to take on the winner of St. Xavier Robert Morris, which is coming up next. The loser of this game moves into the loser's bracket and has to win 4 in a row in order to win the tournament. And they will play on Monday afternoon against Trinity Christian, whoever ends up dropping this one. 0-2 on Tesh, 350 hitter who has not reached base yet in this game. Tesh is able to lay off that pitch downstairs as he checked up his swing. The count is 1-2. John Peterson stands in the on-deck circle, or at least near it. He's on deck. Swing and a miss. Tesh goes down on strikes. Number 10 for Graham Burke. 1 away in the 7th. It's just the 3rd strikeout that Burke has gotten swinging. Well, he blew a heater by Tesh on that one. First time Tesh has gone down on strikes today. John Peterson has gone down on strikes twice, once looking and once swinging, trying to advance Farron from first base in this case. Peterson chases a pitch in the dirt for strike 1. Peterson is looking for his first hit of the tournament. He went 0 for 3 yesterday. He did draw an RBI walk in that game, though. That was an 8-6 win against Roosevelt, and that St. Francis Roosevelt game went back and forth with a couple of lead changes. A lot of action, a lot of excitement. I don't think Roosevelt would have believed that it wouldn't have looked like anything after today, as it's bunted foul by Peterson, strike 2. Yesterday's game seems about as ho-hum as they come compared to the game that Roosevelt played earlier this afternoon. 12 innings, 33 runs scored. Not only did Roosevelt and St. Ambrose go back and forth trading runs for much of the game, they did it in extra innings a couple of times. 0-2 count on Peterson. Throw to first base. Farron back in safely. Farron reached base to lead off the inning on an error. He stands at first now with one out. An 0-2 count on Peterson. Peterson shows bunt. And he tries to drop one down but misses for strike 3. And there is strikeout number 11 for Graham Burke. 2 down in the inning. That shows, number 1, how good Burke has been, and number 2, how frustrated John Peterson is right now with having to face him. That with 2 strikes, he squared up to bunt early and stuck with it. He could not, however, make contact. Here's Dolan Nicholson. He has not made contact today. 0 for 2 with a couple of punch outs. He swings at the first pitch and lifts it into shallow left field towards the line. Coming in Mason Sherrill to make the catch. The inning is over. Following the error, Burke doesn't let it faze him. He goes 1-2-3 after. And we'll head to the bottom of the 7th at the stretch. It's 3-1 Tigers. This is round 2 of the CCAC tournament. Olivet by a pair. Braden Payne bats to lead off the bottom of the 7th for the team in yellow. It's the Olivet Nazarene Tigers. As Payne takes ball 1 up high from Sandoval. Those yellow uniforms are interesting on Olivet. Their warm-up shirts are purple. Line drive to the shortstop, and it's caught by Dustin Krob as it tails away from him. He's able to stick with it and make a nice catch. Round number 1, 4 in a row set down by Sandoval. I'm trying to think of any other sport that Olivet plays where they wear yellow. They must have it out there. It's a secondary color for the school. But a very LSU look right now with the yellow jerseys, purple accents, and Tigers spelled out on it. Matson swings the first pitch, bloops it into shallow right field. Long run in for Schoonover, but there he is to make the grab on just 3 pitches. Angel Sandoval has recorded 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning. The batter is Ben DeYoung. This game started out as a pitcher's duel. 3 innings went by without either team scoring, and then the offenses broke out a little bit, especially in the 4th. We saw a home run for each side. Solo shot from McGuire in the top of the inning, a 2-run job for Payne in the bottom. DeYoung shows bunt, pulls the bat back and takes ball 1. And now the pitchers have settled in again. We haven't seen anybody score since the bottom of the 5th. In fact, we've only seen 1 base runner total since the bottom of the 5th. As DeYoung swings and misses, it's 1-1. And that was on an error, so it certainly was not against the pitcher. Sandoval and Burke have been about as good as could be expected, arguably better. Ball outside, 2-1. Just 9 total hits in this game, 3 for the Saints, 6 for the Tigers. 4 of Olivet's 6 hits came in the 4th and 5th innings, and that's when they did all of their scoring. Ground ball to third base. Gobbled up by Tesh. The throw across the diamond is in time. A very quick 1-2-3 7th inning worked by Sandoval. We'll see if that turns momentum at all in the Saints' favor. They've got just 6 outs left to work with as Olivet is closing in on a spot in the semifinals. After 7, 3-1 Tigers. Top of the 8th inning, Adam Cebulka leads things off for the Fighting Saints of St. Francis, the host team of this CCAC tournament. Trying to stay in the winner's bracket, but Olivet, the home team of this game, has gotten a fabulous pitching performance from their sophomore right-hander, Graham Burke. He has struck out a career-high 11, and he'll face the 8, 9, and 1 batters in the 8th inning, trying to keep this 1-run, 3-hit performance going. Cebulka's 1 for 2. He's got 1 of the 3 hits, a single in the 3rd inning. He fouls back the first offering of this at bat. Strike 1. Cebulka, Schultz, and Schoonover due up for the Saints. Called strike 2. Joe McGuire hit a solo homer in the 4th. Anthony Farron followed that up with a bloop single, and since then, St. Francis has had only 1 base runner. 1 of the last 12 batters has reached, and that was on an error. Cebulka strikes out swinging, make it 1 of the last 13 that have reached against Graham Burke, and he has struck out 12. First time as a collegian that he has fanned double digits, and that number keeps on rising. He's still only thrown 88 pitches in the game. 12 strikeouts, but no walks. In fact, neither pitcher has walked anybody today. Bailey Schultz is 0 for 2. He has struck out looking and popped out to first base. And this time he gets to reach first as he's hit by a pitch up on the shoulder. A breaking ball. Didn't come in with a whole lot of velocity, and that's a nice benefit for Schultz, who was desperate to reach base any way he could there. Base runners have been hard to come by for St. Francis in this game, and for Olivet too, to be fair. But anytime you get struck up on the shoulder by a slow ball, the way that this game has been going against Graham Burke, you take it. Schultz is aboard. Good speed on for St. Francis with the top of the order coming up. The tying run in the batter's box now, Travis Schoonover. Schoonover is 0 for 3. He's flown out twice, grounded out once. Ball 1 outside and off the glove of DeYoung. It's a passed ball allowing Schultz to advance to second base. 1-0 on Schoonover, and now this has become a serious scoring threat for the Fighting Saints. They've got just 5 outs left to play with. In yesterday's game against Roosevelt, They were down to their final 5 outs, trailing by 1 with nobody on base. And they ended up scoring 4 runs and winning that ball game 8-6. We'll see if they have more late inning magic in them today. No offense to anybody that Roosevelt had on the mound, but I don't think anybody has been quite as dominant as Graham Burke. He's going to make it a little bit harder to make this comeback happen. Ball in the dirt. Good block this time by DeYoung, who throws it out to second base and nearly threw it away. 2-0 on Schoonover. Schultz back to second. He took a few steps towards third as that ball was in the dirt, but it was smothered by DeYoung. Schultz had no chance to advance, but he was caught for a second in no man's land between second and third base. So DeYoung fired down to second base, and he nearly sent it out to center. But Ryan Campbell had to make a diving stop to make sure Schultz could not advance to third base. 2-0. Schoonover takes a ball inside, 3-0. The Olivet bullpen is busy. They've got a right-hander getting loose. For the first time all ball game, Graham Burke is starting to wear a little bit. This is only his second 3-ball count of the night. And it's the first 4-ball count as Schoonover draws the walk. He's missed the zone on his last 5 pitches. He's hit 1 batter. He's walked another. And the heart of the St. Francis order is coming up with a couple of runners on base. This is trouble time now for Olivet Nazarene. They still have a 2-run lead, so certainly not time to panic, but Saints have got to be feeling like this is their best chance of the game. They can't afford to waste it. Dustin Kroeb looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 3. He squares to bunt and takes a strike. Kroeb has struck out twice, grounded out. And now for the first time all ball game, he's batting with runners on. This is the first time in the game that the Saints have had multiple runners on base simultaneously. Kroeb misses on the bunt, strike 2. Got a little ahead of himself right there. Looking apparently for the sacrifice, but got a bit of a head start and he waved at it. So now he's in a 2-strike hole and will likely call off the bunt and have to swing away here. Schoonover's at first, Schultz is at second. 1 out in the top of the 8th. Olivet has a 2-run lead. And time is called by Kroeb. Joe McGuire, who has hit a home run in today's game, stands in the on-deck circle. Graham Burke hoping for a ground ball here and the potential of not facing McGuire this inning. Here comes the 0-2. Swung on and hit in the air. Out to shallow left field. Mason Sherrill comes in, can't find it, and now he does locate the ball. And he makes the catch. Two down. And the batter is McGuire. Mason Madalinsky is the pitcher throwing in the bullpen for Olivet. He'll likely pitch the 9th, I would guess. Whether or not Graham Burke gets out of this 8th inning cleanly. Burke's pitch count now up around 100, and he may be done right now as Todd Reed makes the walk out to the mound. Madalinsky, the ace reliever, second team all-conference pitcher for Olivet, is ready to go in the pen. And again, pitch count getting up there right now for Graham Burke. He started to waver a little bit here in the 8th with his command for the first time all game. He's been throwing nothing but strikes, but he hit Bailey Schultz and then walked Schoonover. It was his first hit batter and his first walk of the game. He'll stay in for now. Wouldn't be surprised if this is his last batter, regardless of what actually goes down in this at-bat. Madalinsky is ready to go if called upon. McGuire is 1 for 3. A solo homer in the fourth is the big hit of the ball game for St. Francis. They've only got 3. 2 singles and that homer. Last time up, McGuire flew out to right field. First pitch from Burke. Up high for ball 1. Burke has rarely fallen behind any St. Francis hitters in this game. Almost everything has started out with strike 1. This is the third batter this inning, though, that he's thrown ball 1-2. Swing and a miss. Does not stay behind in the count for long. 1-1. That's a power cut from Joe McGuire, but he was unable to make contact. 3-1. Olivet leads in the top of the 8th inning. St. Francis got 2 runners on this inning with 1 out. But now Graham Burke is on the verge of ending the inning. His 1-1 pitch to Joe McGuire won't be made yet. Time called in the batter's box. Adding to the drama of the moment just a little bit. Winner of this game plays Monday night. The loser of this game plays Monday afternoon in the loser's bracket. The winner essentially gets a bye through the next round and also has a little more margin for error going forward. The 1-1 pitch. Swung on, grounded to third base, and between the legs of Moonen. Everybody is safe. It's an error on the third baseman, Moonen. And the bases are loaded with 2 outs for Anthony Farron. Burke did what he needed to do to get out of the inning, but Moonen not able to complete the play. Pulled the glove up a little bit too quickly. It hit off the glove between his legs, and it's fortunate that it did at least get his glove. Rather than going straight out to left field, that would have meant a run. Tying run now at second base. The potential go-ahead run is at first base. And Anthony Farron, the CCAC's top hitter, is in the batter's box. Farron is 1 for 3 with a single. He's also reached out an error once. Graham Burke stays in the game to face him and misses up and away for ball 1. We're only in the 8th inning here, but it feels like the entire ball game has come down to this. It's the Saints' top hitter, the Tigers' top pitcher, bases loaded, 2-run game, 2 outs. And time is called in the batter's box. Madalinsky is ready in the bullpen. But Todd Reed has decided to stick with the man who has gotten him this far in the game. Graham Burke hanging in there with the bases loaded to face Farron. The 1-0 pitch. Hits the outside corner for a strike. The count is even. Going through the records through the rest of this game, and by my count, there had only been 6 occasions prior to this inning when Graham Burke threw a first pitch ball. He's done it to 4 of 6 hitters in this inning, but he's gotten back into each at bat almost. It's 1-1 on Farron, who swings and fouls it back. It's 1-2. Big swing from Farron there. He might have to shorten up now with 2 strikes. He's a good power hitter, 5 homers, 16 doubles this year. But all he needs is a base hit. In this case, a single would probably tie the score. It's a 3-1 ball game. A runner at every base. Good speed aboard. Schultz at third and Schoonover at second. And Joe McGuire is the runner at first base as time is called again. This has been the most stressful inning of the game for Graham Burke. He had not had to deal with more than 1 base runner at all in the first 7, and now with 2 outs in the 8th, there's 3 St. Francis players on base. 1-2 the count, looking for his 12th strikeout of the game. And he misses low and away for a ball, 2-2. Actually, I take that back. He's got 12 strikeouts. 1 more strike to Farron would be lucky number 13 for Graham Burke. McGuire at first, Schoonover at second, Schultz at third. 2 down, 3-1. Olivet leads Top of the 8th inning. The 2-2 pitch from Burke to Anthony Farron. Fly ball into right field. Jacob Boltais steps back, makes the catch, and ends the inning. Burke pitches himself into a jam, and he pitches his way out of it. And as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning, Olivet still has the lead. It's 3-1. Bottom of the 8th inning, 3-1. The Tigers lead the Saints. It's been a heck of a ball game here this evening. It's been a lot of fun, and especially right now if you're a Tigers fan. They're 3 outs away from moving on to the next round. First, they come up to try to pad their lead, and Mason Sherrill is a 2-hopper to short and beats it out, an infield single. Credit to Sherrill, busting it all the way down the first base line. That looked like a routine play. Dustin Krob gloved it on 2 hops, threw on over to first, and Krob played that ball about as well as you can. Not as though he waited back too long on it, didn't lollygag the throw. But Sherrill was just sprinting all the way down the line, and he beat that one definitively to first base. An infield hit to begin the inning. That snaps a string of 6 in a row, retired by Sandoval. Angel Sandoval still on the mound for St. Francis. He's pitched to Jem. Just made one big mistake. Gave up a 2-run homer to Braden Payne in the 4th inning. Olivet scored one more time. That was in the 5th. Ben DeYoung hit a double to center field on a ball that was misplayed by Bailey Schultz. He eventually came in to score on an RBI groundout from Ryan Campbell. So a meeting down the first base line among some of the Olivet principal players is over, ready to continue, and Ryan Campbell steps into the box. He's 1 for 3 with a single and an RBI. Pickoff throw to first. Sherrill back in safely. Mason Sherrill has swiped 12 bags this year. St. Francis had their best chance to score in the top of the 8th inning. They had the bases loaded. Couldn't get anyone in. Ball outside on Campbell, 1-0. In fact, they had runners at first and second with 1 out. And then on an error, they loaded them up with 2 outs with Anthony Farron coming up. Farron, who was hitting .399 at the start of play today, was able to do nothing more than hit a lazy fly into right as Graham Burke's brilliant pitching performance continued on. Catch was made by Jacob Boltais to end that inning. And now we're in the bottom of the 8th. Olivet looking to pad their advantage. A swing and a miss from Campbell. The count is 1-1. Mason Sherrill takes his lead from first base. Sandoval keeping a close eye on him. Olivet has just 1 stolen base in today's game. Throw over to first base, and the runner is back in. On the year, they average right around 4 steals per game. And that is first among all teams nationally in the NAIA. 1-1 is bunted back towards the pitcher, first base side. Sandoval picks it up and throws to first for the out. Mason Sherrill advances to second base on the play. Campbell, a successful sacrifice there. That's his 8th sacrifice bunt this season. It goes 1-3, and it puts a potential big insurance run into scoring position for RW Reno. Reno is 1 for 3. He singled in the 5th inning. Popped out to a diving Bailey Schultz back in the 1st inning. Struck out looking in the 3rd. 5 strikeouts in the ball game for Angel Sandoval. No walks. Pretty good game by anyone's standards. Fouled back by Reno for strike 1. But Graham Burke has done him a little bit better. 12 strikeouts, and only 1 walk for him. And that walk came just last inning. He also hit 1 batter, and that was also last inning. Saints loaded the bases in the top of the 8th without getting a hit. They don't have a hit since the 4th. 0-1 count on Reno. He takes the ball up high. It's 1-1. Nathan Moonen stands on deck. Tigers have out-hit the Saints 7-3 in this game. Time is called by Cebulka behind home plate before the next toss to Reno. Cebulka walks out to the mound to have a little conference with the pitcher, Angel Sandoval. Sandoval has gone strong all the way through, but St. Francis does have a right-hander loosening in the bullpen just in case. It's Evan Doan, who pitched 3 innings yesterday, but he's ready to go again today if needed. Sandoval just crossed over 80 pitches for the ball game. So I don't think he's wearing down fatigue-wise, but this is the 4th time that the Tigers lineup has seen him. So you always worry once you get to this stage of the game about maybe some adjustments could have been made by the Tigers. As Reno pops it foul and out of play to the left side, 1-2. And in a tight ball game like this, Brian Mahalik will monitor the situation closely and make the change if he has to. Round 2 of the tournament, both of these teams won tight ones yesterday. Olivet defeated St. Ambrose 3-0 on a brilliant pitching performance from Kenwell Dominguez. Tigers pitchers have allowed just 1 run in 17 innings so far in the tournament. Fouled back, still 1-2. They've given up just 1 run on 8 hits. 1 run on 8 hits over 17 innings. This is the best pitching staff in the conference. It's one of the best pitching staffs in all the country. But I don't know if you could have expected this coming in. They've been incredible. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Sandoval sets down RW Reno. 2 outs in the 8th inning. Mason Sherrill still at second base. And the batter is Nathan Moonen. Moonen is 1 for 3. He singled and scored in the 4th. Moonen committed a potentially costly error last inning. It did not turn out to hurt Olivet. Runner goes from second. He took off too soon. Sandoval throws back to second base, and Mason Sherrill is out. The inning is over. Sherrill was trying to steal third, but he took off too soon. He recognized his mistake, turned around, and started sprinting back to second base, but Sandoval was able to step off the rubber and catch him. And so a pickoff ends the inning. Moonen doesn't see a single pitch, and we're on our way to the 9th. Last chance coming up for the Fighting Saints of St. Francis. They trail Olivet Nazarene 3-1. Top of the ninth inning, 3-1. Olivet Nazarene leads University of St. Francis. Winner moves on to the semifinals Monday night. Loser heads into the loser's bracket, and looking for his 5th save of the year, Mason Madalinsky has entered the game. Madalinsky on for the 13th time. He's 6-0 with a 2.55 ERA and 49 1/3 innings. He's allowed 15 runs, 14 of them earned on 33 hits, 39 strikeouts, 17 walks. Opponents have batted a scant 190 against Madalinsky this year. His first pitch is a breaking ball in the strike zone. 0-1 on Josh Tesh. Tesh is 0 for 3 today. Strikeout, a pop out, and a fly out. He swings through the 0-1 pitch. It's 0-2. What a performance today from Graham Burke. 8 innings. He's in line for the victory. It would be his 8th of the year. Tesh takes strike 3 over the inside corner. 1 away. First strikeout from Madalinsky after Graham Burke fanned 12 in his performance today. 12 strikeouts, only 1 walk. Burke gave up just 3 hits in the game. One of them was a solo homer for Joe McGuire back in the 4th inning. That gave St. Francis a 1-0 lead. Olivet very quickly responded. Braden Payne hit a 2-run shot in the bottom of the 4th. Ben DeYoung doubled and scored on a ground out in the 5th, and it's been 3-1 ever since. John Peterson tries to bunt his way on. It's strike 1. Actually, it's not Peterson, sorry. It's pinch hitter Vinny Schroeder looking to bunt his way aboard. Pushes it foul for strike 1. Schroeder, a freshman outfielder, getting his first at bat of the tournament. He hit .217 during the regular season, 5 for 23. Ball 1 to even up the count. Dolan Nicholson waits on deck. Adam Cebulka in the hold with no guarantee to come up here in the 9th inning. Swing and a miss. 1-2. St. Xavier, Robert Morris coming up next, the final game of the day. And the winner of that game will face the winner of this one. Swing and a miss from Schroeder, 2 down. Olivet now 1 out away from becoming the winner of this one. Pitching has guided them throughout this tournament so far. In 2 games, they've scored only 6 runs. They've had just 14 hits. And yet they're 1 out away from improving to 2-0 and moving within 1 game of the championship. Dolan Nicholson is 0 for 3. 2 strikeouts and a flyout. Nicholson takes ball 1 up and away. Huge gap in right center field right now for Dolan Nicholson, who's trying to reach base to keep the game alive and bring the tying run to the plate. Pushed foul into the left side lawn. It's 1-1. 2 strikeouts this inning for Madalinsky. On the season, he's got 41 strikeouts in 50 innings. Olivet pitchers have set down 14 St. Francis hitters on strikes today. Nicholson bounces it to the left side, charging Campbell. The shortstop gloves, throws on the move to first base, not in time. Dolan Nicholson reaches on an infield single and gives St. Francis some hope. 2 outs in the 9th inning, and it's up to Adam Cebulka now, representing the tying run in the batter's box. Cebulka, not a huge hitter, just a .215 batting average coming in, but he's got a little bit of power. 3 home runs on the season. He's 1 for 3 in the ball game with a single. Madalinsky glances over at Nicholson at first base. His first pitch to Cebulka is swung on and fouled back for strike 1. That hit for Dolan Nicholson, the infield single, is the first hit for St. Francis since the 4th inning. Joe McGuire hit a solo homer. Anthony Farron followed with a bloop base hit. No hits between then and the 9th. Cebulka foul tips it into the catcher's glove, strike 2. St. Francis is down to their final strike. Madalinsky stares in at the catcher DeYoung and gets the sign. The 0-2. Ground ball down the third baseline, just foul. Backhanded by Nathan Moonen behind the bag. But it cut foul just inches in front of third base. Cebulka will head back to the batter's box and take a look at another 0-2 pitch from Mason Madalinsky. Madalinsky, second team all-conference, a sophomore right-hander from Aurora, Illinois. He was bounced back and forth between starting and relieving this year. Trying to close this one out, and he does. Strike three called over the outside corner, and there's your ball game. Madalinsky strikes out the side in the ninth, and Olivet rides more great pitching to the next round of the CCAC tournament. They have won now 3-0 and 3-1 their 2 games in this conference tournament. They've allowed just 1 run on only 9 hits in 2 games. And they advance to Monday night, where they will play in the semifinal against the winner of St. Xavier and Robert Morris coming up. St. Francis still alive. They advance to Monday afternoon, a 1 o'clock start time on Monday, and they will take on Trinity Christian in an elimination game. Go back over the scoring of this game very quickly here. It started in St. Francis's favor after Graham Burke and Angel Sandoval matched each other pitch for pitch over the first 3 innings. In the fourth, Joe McGuire hit a solo homer to put the Saints ahead 1-0. And then in the bottom of the fourth, Braden Payne with a 2-run shot, his first of the year, gave Olivet a 2-1 advantage. They did not relinquish it the rest of the way. Ben DeYoung led off the bottom of the 5th inning with a double. He would later score on a Ryan Campbell groundout, and that set our final score at 3-1. Totals in this one for the Saints: 1 run, 4 hits, no errors. For the Tigers, 2 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors. The win advances Olivet to the semifinals of the CCAC tournament. The loss sends the Saints into the losers bracket. If they want to win this tournament now, and they've still certainly got a shot to do it, they will have to win 4 games consecutively. A lot of good action in the conference tournament today. This 2-run game was the largest margin of victory for any team in today's day 2 of action. So we hope for more great action going forward. Tom Westenfeld will have that one for you in about 40 minutes. St. Xavier against Robert Morris. That'll do it for me today, and another fine game. St. Francis against Olivet. The Tigers come out on top 3-1. Until next time, this is Terry Bonadonna signing off. Enjoy the rest of your night.